Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the program. My name's Lee Grossman. With me, as always, Justin Lynch, B-Hawk memes, as well as Ovi Clapbomb. Gentlemen, slow news day, not much to talk about. I'm just kidding. The Chicago Blackhawks, yeah, yawn, yawn. You guys thought we were going to talk about draft stuff? No, the Chicago Blackhawks are going to be picking fourth overall in the 2026 NHL entry draft. They slide down to fourth after having the second best odds at first overall and the second best odds at second overall. And not only that, the Toronto Maple Leafs jump from 5-1, and the San Jose Sharks jump from 10-2 or 9-2. As nightmarish as it gets, Justin, I'll start with you. Is there a silver lining? Is it doom? What are your overall feelings after that one?
Well, there's a lot of thoughts. I would say the worst part of it is not the Blackhawks dropping to 4. The worst part is the two teams that jumped ahead of the Blackhawks. You could not have scripted two worse teams, maybe one. Maybe you could say Panthers would have been worse because we did originally have their first round pick. So if they got the pick, it would have been us if not for Frank Seravalli breaking the news a year later. The news a year later, like that probably would have hurt more. But the Toronto Maple Leafs and San Jose Sharks. Are you kidding me right now? First year of the Austin Matthews era, this team misses the playoffs 10 years in, and 10 years from the Austin Matthews draft lottery win, they're going to get Gavin McKenna to play in Toronto with the 5th best odds. Like, to be fair, honestly, wasn't really shocked by that one. If there was any team that was going to move up, it was going to be them. I was a bit worried about the Rangers as well, but I wasn't too surprised. Seeing Toronto at the base of the standings, I kind of worried about this. I think a lot of people worry about Florida as well, but that's not even the worst part. We haven't even gotten to the worst part yet. The San Jose Sharks with pick number 2. The Tel Aviv Sharks, you might that out. The San Jose Sharks with pick number 2. You have got to be kidding me, my guy. You've got to be kidding me. 3 straight years of a top 2 pick. Macklin Celebrini in 2024. Michael Misa last year. Of course, they cucked us out of Misa last year, and they're going to cuck us out of Ivar Stenberg this year. The San Jose Sharks, pick number 2 of the draft. Where did they finish again? What was it? 10th, 11th from the bottom? I forgot. They barely even were in the running, the draft lottery running. They hardly missed the playoffs. And they have a number 2 overall pick and are going to have probably Ivar Stenberg if Mike Grier is smart and doesn't pull a Davidson 2024. I think we'll talk about today. Hopefully he does. And then Hawks obviously pick number 4, drops to 4. Canucks drop to 3. They have it even worse than us. I mean, pray for the Vancouver Canucks fans, man. After the year that they went through, trading Quinn Hughes, finishing the basement of NHL,
Calgary,
and they're not even going to get McKenna or Stenberg. Like, who is it going to be? Caleb Malhotra? Yeah, have fun with that, Vancouver. So, yeah, it sucks even more for them. And, yeah, it sucks for us as well. Now we get to decide between if there's any 4 left of those 3. Probably not. In that case, we have to decide who the best defenseman in the draft is and add yet another project defenseman to the arsenal. Or the silver lining could be, do we trade the pick? I think that's the silver lining for me. This is an asset to use for the Blackhawks. This number 4 pick is an asset. Do they use it in a trade to acquire a star, to move up, down? We shall see. That was a whole lot of talking. I guess that's my big hypothesis for this video. But, yeah, I guess that's my intro done and dusted.
Yeah. Ovi, it's a lot to go off of there. But what was your kind of need?
Yeah, initially, Toronto wins the pick, and as a Canadian guy, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be fucking everywhere. I'm not going to be able to breathe without seeing Gavin McKenna in some form of media.
He's going to be in your dreams.
Yeah, and in Toronto's eyes, they just drafted the savior, boys. They're back in the playoffs, and they traded Marner for McKenna, and it all worked out, and he's coming, and that kid's gonna have a fuck ton of pressure on him. He's gonna have some good centermen to play with. Granted, he could be in a position to succeed. He is a dog, so he could turn that pressure into a diamond. But he might have gone to the place that is going to place the most pressure on him right away. So I think it's kind of exciting. And then where I don't really have a dog in that race, it's whatever. San Jose jumping up to 2 is just catastrophic because they're the ones we're going head to head with. This is the one where it's okay, we're kind of rebuilding at the same time. We're kind of going head to head in that aspect. And boys, they have our number in all aspects this year. They pushed for the playoffs. Celebrini had the year he had. He made Team Canada. They played 500 hockey, almost made the playoffs, and then they got the better pick at the end of it.
And they might get the defenseman. Like, that was our thing. That was our thing, Ovi, was like, what do they have?
Yeah, that was our cope. It's, they're just going to be the Leafs or the
They
Oilers.
win either way. They win
Well,
either way. They either get the best player available in Stenberg, assuming the Leafs take McKenna, which they will, or they fix their defensive problem. They have exactly one elite defenseman in the arsenal. They're going to get, the best defenseman of the lot, whether that's Chase Reed or that's up being. So they really can't lose with this draft pick. Yeah.
Oh no, it's like a total win for Greer. And like if I'm like San Jose fan, I'm over the moon. It's a fucking
there's
tough
5
pill.
of them.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. It's a tough pill to swallow. It's a fucking tough pill to swallow. And last night, man, like even as a guy who tries to spin things positively, like in all aspects of my life, it was tough. It was tough not to just like let a little bit of it out of like, holy fuck, man, like who are we going to end up? We just watched shit dry in the sun for 82 games, and you're telling me we're not walking away with the winger to finally drag us out of the Ivan Demidov conversation? Because that's really what the root of all of this is.
Yeah,
this was supposed to be the draft where we course corrected. We didn't take Demidov in 24. We took Levshinov, sure, but we didn't have the guy to play with Bedard. This was supposed to be the year that it would be okay because, we didn't get Demidov, but we got Stenberg and we got McKenna, and you know what? They're better or of the same value of Demidov, whatever. But not getting that option this year, presumably, if someone could fall, it takes that conversation and stretches it further, and we have to put up with it longer. And I'm like, I'm over it. I'm fucking over that conversation. I want Bedard to have a winger. I want him to have a line mate. I don't want to make the excuse that, he only played with Ryan Green and Burakovsky and Kurashev. Give him a fucking winger, and that's where this is disappointing because that felt like the light at the end of the tunnel, and now we kind of have to fandangle our way around it and try to make the best of it. But it's a tough pill to swallow, boys. But I'm putting my copium in the fact that those GMs just think you can't build your team on the wall,
those
boys.
right shot D.
You can't build the team on the wall.
Craig Button
It's
video.
already coming out. It's already coming out. Spin that
smoke screen.
narrative. Yeah,
I saw that Craig Button video, and I'm just like, I tweeted that Craig Button saying that your favorite team is going to get the player you want is like Drake betting on your favorite team to win a game. And it's like, didn't Craig Button have Carson Carroll's ranked as his number 2 player in
He's
this
a hot
draft?
take guy who just like yells at the camera.
He's just trying to be different, man.
Well, I also don't think he watches international hockey. Like he's
not a prospect guy like the way the guys at the Athletic are, or like certain people who cover Stephen Ellis.
Don't tell the Sharks that.
Craig Button is just a TSN like hot take guy who's like fun to watch, but in terms of his draft rankings, I'm not putting any merit into it. I do put some merit in the idea though that I think the Sharks are taking a defenseman or moving to take a defenseman because that need is so glaring. Unless there's a trade that is evident. But if Chase Reed is a number 1 defenseman, or you feel Carson Carls is a number 1 defenseman, I think there's enough people that the gap is not as big as we might perceive it. I think that Stenberg is a tier above these guys, but I don't necessarily think that's the consensus throughout the league. And we know throughout history that these teams' draft boards
they like the
are different than the public's outlook, that there's always somebody the last minute that kind of jumps up or rises up, and they are fucking cucks for right-hand shot defensemen, and they love their centermen because you can't build your team on the wall, boys. Stenberg falling to 4.
And let's do that copium. Like, I agree with you. I do think that there is a good chance. 1 second.
Oh, good. Undersized winger, man. It's written in the star. Undersized winger. You can't draft an undersized winger in the first round, man. It's crazy. You're crazy.
Sorry.
All good.
No, I do think that there is a good chance that San Jose. I don't know how you can keep taking forwards in that spot. Like, they need help on the back end so bad. They need an elite. Like Dickinson seems like he's going to be a good player, but like
that's really the only certainty they have.
That's the only certainty, and even he is like, is that a number 1? Is it a complimentary first?
I don't think he's better
guy?
than Artie. He's probably the same level as Artie.
And so it's like, what do you have there? it makes so much more sense to go out and get one of these right shot D in this spot. And so then the question is like, if they stay at 2 and pick the right shot D, then Vancouver's in that situation of, is it Stenberg or is it Malhotra?
That's where I'm more skeptical. I'm
more skeptical. Exactly.
That's
like,
the pick. I'm like,
I feel like we've heard some things about them like him. Holter doesn't. I mean, not to be a nepo baby here, but doesn't like his dad work with the organization? Am I wrong about that?
I think he's the AHL head coach.
AHL,
I know that's extreme. Like
but next in line, maybe.
Probably looking a bit too much into that, but it probably could use a center there. I don't know. But Holter's stock has risen a lot the past few weeks, especially after his playoff run. We've heard some people say it could go top 2. I mean, it's probably being delusional, but
centerman, man.
Yeah, he's a centerman, top center in the draft, and it's not totally unprecedented to see a top winger go down in the draft. We saw it, like you said, in 2024, Demidov dropping to 5. He's the second best player in that draft. Oh, maybe Seta could have something to say about that, but yeah,
undersized wingers, man.
Michkov in 2023 as well. So it wouldn't be unprecedented to see Stenberg drop to 4, considering the Sharks' positional need. I just don't know if Mike Greer's that type of GM though, to Galaxy brain it. He's always been kind of a BPA, best player available guy. But you do look at the Sharks' holes though. It's like they got one of the top offensive cores, in the show. They're going to have it. They got good goaltending down the line. The one weakness the team has is clearly on the back end. So I just don't know if that's how he's going to go about though. With the gap between the top 2 and the rest of the field.
Can I push back?
Sure.
Where I agree with you is that Mike Greer's been BPA. He's gone BPA. Our general manager has not. And you know what pisses me off? What drives me up a wall because Mike Greer said last night on the broadcast that they're going to go BPA. When general managers say best player available, that's different from you or I saying best player available.
Already said that in 2024, but he didn't do it. Yeah.
Because what they mean by that is best player available for them is what they mean. And so I think
it's that's kind of a farce too, because like what in a draft full of 18, 17-year-olds where it's like it's kind of subjective anyway. What does best player available even like at 4th overall? Who really is the best player available?
My point is just that when a GM says it, it's different than what everyone else thinks is the consensus most talented player at that spot.
Yeah,
when a general manager says it, that's not what they're referring to. They're talking about who their scouting staff thinks is the best player for them. And so, like, with that being said, when Mike Greer's had these picks at the top of the draft, up until this point, he hasn't Galaxy brained it, right?
So he's due for one.
He's hit on every single one of these. And so when you do that in your first 3 drafts, right? Whereas Kyle Davidson didn't do that. And so after you do that in your first 3 and you're starting to see the core come together, and then you get lucky here in year 4 and you move up to the 2nd spot, you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to go BPA. You can say, we've got all this talent already. Now it's time to start filling in holes. Whereas Kyle Davidson was trying to fill in holes and build from important positions like the center position and the right shot D before anything else. And so he prioritized those things and didn't prioritize the most talented players, whereas Mike Greer did. And so now they're in a spot where, look, they got 2nd overall. They could trade down. They could, they have a number of options here. Whereas it feels like the Blackhawks are somewhat strapped in the sense that we're just waiting for our right shot D to pan out. We don't know if these guys are good enough yet. We kind of just have to wait. Where it's like San Jose, it doesn't feel like they have to wait for anything, And
so this could be like a Canadians Reinbacher situation, 2023, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to spin it like positively. But I mean, and you can talk about trades and stuff like that. It's like
we want to do some mock trades to try to trade up into the Sharks.
Do you want to give assets to the same maybe
they're probably going to want like a Korchinski or someone like that, right?
But what if it takes draft capital? Like I'm fine with moving draft capital to switch spots with them. But do I want to give them our D prospects so that they can also take another D prospect? And then all of a sudden they have
depends who it is.
And then all of a sudden they have a better decor than us.
Imagine Korchinski popped off and saying, hey, like how fucking catastrophic that would
be. But I'd rather give him up than like Artie or Rinzel.
Yeah, no. I honestly don't think they get rid of Artie or Rinzel. I think there's just like kind of too much stock, it's particularly Artie. I feel like they have two pillars back there. And I think it would take a lot to get rid of those guys. I'm with you on like the draft capital, like going forward, like the Florida and the Edmonton pick. Like I feel like you have to be moving those. Like even this year, the guy we likely take at 4th is probably not in the NHL next year. I feel like Stenberg
at least multiple years out,
unless it's Stenberg,
unless it's Stenberg
or Albert Smits,
which
Artie Party 2.0.
Sorry,
Malhotra
Malhotra's not playing in the NHL next year. That
No,
guy, I did a
NCAA.
tape review on him. I'm not fucking pumping this guy's tires like everyone else is. Like there is the talent. People are comparing him to Anton Friendel because they're both not great skaters. He's a worse skater than Anton Friendel and is significantly less talented offensively. And I don't know why people are getting away with that comparison because the talent is just not. It's not the same. And it's
Merrick
driving
Van Acker merchant.
One other point.
That Brantford team's a wagon. You can't ignore that.
Did you see them? They fell apart. They were up 3-1 in their series and then choked it and lost in game.
What would have happened with Nick Lardis out there? Yeah.
No, it wouldn't have. But it happened with fucking Merrick Van Acker and maybe future Blackhawk Caleb Malhotra.
Did you see him at the game? Lardis, he was like hitting the drum and slamming some brewskis.
Yeah, chugging the brews. Yeah,
I love that from Artie Party.
Brantford Bulldog legend. One other point I wanted to make about San Jose and drafting Ivor Stenberg. Look, I know the salary cap's going up, but Macklin Celebrini, I think that fella's due for a decent payday.
What is that going to be? $15 million bucks? Yeah.
Will Smith, this kid might be getting paid. Or is he on? Has he signed a contract yet?
No, I don't think so, right? He's still on his ELC.
Michael Misa, you're going to have to pay, if Michael Misa takes a big step next year and is still better than Anton Friendel, like everybody else claims.
Chernyshev as well. Yeah.
Fella's going to have to get paid a lot. Chernyshev as well. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You're going to have to pay these guys. Are you bringing in Ivor Stenberg, who in 3 years, you're going to have to pay a big chunk of cash
starts to get pretty crowded, and then your defense is still so unless you're going out and trading Eklund or somebody else for a defenseman, it doesn't really make sense, man. And again, I think there's some people that would have Chase Reed like close enough to Stenberg where it's like not that big of a stretch to take him at 2. Yeah. Whether we feel that way or not is different. I think Stenberg.
I feel that way.
Above. Yeah. Okay.
I thought he was the 3rd most talented player in this draft. And he's a right shot D. He's 6'2". He's mobile. He's big. He can defend. He's got an amazing shot. He's
really good skater, play driver, quarterback to power play, good on both ends. Yeah. He's kind of like Quinn Hughes on Timu. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's bigger than Quinn Hughes. And he's mobile for like I can't even think of one off the top of my head, but like a big mobile defenseman. Like that's what he is. When I see him, I think, and I haven't done a deep dive on Verhoff. I haven't done a deep dive on Carroll's, but
they've impressed me less in the tape I've
seen.
My
preconceived notion was that like, I feel like Reed is the only guy here who has true, like when you're thinking of a true number 1, like I think he's the one who's most likely to be that. And so if you have a true number 1 on the right side, that's that big, GMs like that, so like, I feel like after we've had this conversation, how does San Jose take another forward? Like you're just, because then if you're going to try to build your decor through trades and free agency, well, then you're going to be, having to.
That market is like, that's with Chicago. I'm kind of like, with a salary cap going up, man, like people are signing their guys and they don't want to move their guys unless they're getting back like big hauls. And I know Chicago's got a lot of capital to move, but like, I'm really like, this is not the 2021 where there was a hard cap and people like cap space is this commodity that like, people are just like clamoring for. It's like, they have space to sign their guys. So it's
a lot of building through the draft for that reason. You hardly see anyone enter the free agent market, right? The trade market's been tried too. It's kind of why Davidson's been doing what he's doing. So it's been a slow, painful process. But yeah, that's why he's done.
Robertson pick up the phone. If Robertson would even pick up the fucking phone, like I would be over the moon. Like if we could walk away with that'd be the biggest win I think possible this offseason.
I don't. Everyone wants to add though. Everyone wants.
Yeah,
to
no.
get
I mean,
better,
if we're
you
thinking
know?
that, how many other teams are thinking
31
that?
other teams pretty much.
Toronto's like, yeah, we should bring Robertson to play with McKenna. Go crack at the cup. I don't know. Who fucking knows? Chicago's not going to be the only bell of that ball,
And we're also in division with them, you know.
Yeah, and we're also dog shit last year. So
Yeah, we got extend Bedsy too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true, man. That will bring a little bit of positivity.
Hopefully that's a nice looking contract, right?
Hopefully
Hopefully they sign out $20 million.
2 times 20 is all.
Yeah. I was just gonna say I don't know if a 3x15 or 3x16 is gonna bring a whole ton of positivity to my Twitter feed.
Oh, he's gonna leave Chicago in 3 years, short-term deal.
He's already in Vancouver, 1 foot in Vancouver.
Oh my gosh, nightmare. Oh.
I do have something that is a little. I was reminded, and it's not necessarily set in stone, but if we're looking at the Blackhawks offseason, there's one glaring thing that I personally forgot. I know you, Lee, I don't think you've forgotten because you released some information regarding this earlier.
Mario.
We have a very interesting prospect on the road. Like
Cancerov.
I want to see Roman. I want to see what Roman's like on power play 1. I want to see what he's like in the middle to top 6. I want to see what he is. And I'm excited to see what he is. I'm not going to expect him to be the savior. But I really want to see what he is and what he's going to look like. Exactly, an X factor. Before and then we make a move. Like let's see
Can
what
he
Roman
be that
is.
guy?
If he's here next week or whatever, and he's in Chicago, and we're seeing the practice clips or whatever, and whatever happens,
that'll get this fan base back going. Yeah.
It's like, man, if he's labeled as the next Kaprizov in certain articles from homegrown guys, so be wary because it's Scott Powers saying that, and obviously it would benefit him. If he's 50% of the player of Kaprizov, that's an X factor, and that's exciting. Like this guy has potential to be a needle mover, a role player, an exciting member of this organization, and it's something that I kind of forgot about in the midst of everything last night. And when I think Lee, you were talking about within. He's going to be meeting with Davidson sometime this week. It's like, oh yeah, fuck, Roman Cancerov, the guy you might have heard of him at 30-something tucks in the KHL, unreal season, plays the power play bumper like he was born to do it. I don't know if you boys remember, but the power play was pretty dog shit in Chicago this year.
That'll be a nice piece to the PP next week.
Adding a piece like that, Frondell on the other side. We get a full 82 of Bedard like he was last year. Like things could look better next
Could be the
year.
line mate for Bedard too, right? Because a lot of us have been worrying, is this going to be year 4? Bedard doesn't have a true line mate because Frondell is probably going to be center. Nazar could be, first line wing. It could be third line center. Maybe Kantsov on his wing could be that guy for him, right?
Maybe Kantsov or Frondell. Like I feel like one of those guys next season, like has to be next to Bedard because you can't. Or a trade or somebody else. Like it can't be if it's not Frondell, if it's not Kantsov, and it's not a trade.
It's Ryan Green and Andre Burakovsky.
God no, absolutely not. That will be the fucking Landon Dupont conversation. I can't do it another year back on it.
I can't do it.
No, absolutely not.
Let me cut you off there because the answer is Andre Burakovsky and Ryan Green. No. I do want to clarify about the Roman Kanserov thing because some people in the replies to that tweet were like, "Well, like, what's your source for this? Because you this isn't something you should be." So, like a week ago, maybe less than a week ago, maybe like 5 days ago, someone reported that Kanserov didn't know if he was coming to the Blackhawks. Was like the report, and so people were kind of worried about it, and so I was like kind of confused about it too. But then I DM'd him. I reached out to him and I said, like, are you like, Roman, brother, please tell me. And he was like, I want, and he was like, I don't, he said, I don't,
he follows me on Bioc Beams. I think
I asked him, I was like, Roman, please tell me you're coming to Chicago. And he was like, I don't know. I want. And I was like, and then I asked him, I was like, have they not asked you to come yet? Is it, or is it for another reason? And he said, he said he was meeting with the general this week. was what he said. And then I told him,
General. Can we
He
start
said-
referring
I
to
like that.
Davidson as
He
the
said the
general?
General Kyle.
that is a direct
General
quote.
KD.
He
Yeah.
said he was meeting with the general this week. So, yes. So for Blackhawks fans, I guess that is a nugget of good news. That earlier report, I think it was because he said he didn't know, and so they took that as he doesn't know. He doesn't know if he wants to come yet.
Oh,
No, I think it was just a mistranslation. They just
Okay.
got that wrong.
Yeah.
And so it's not that he doesn't know if he wants to come and
Mhm.
maybe stay in Russia. He wants to come. He doesn't know because they haven't had the meeting yet. So to clarify that. And then I also told him that I think he would look really good with Connor Bedard, and we need him in the bumper on the power play. I did add that, not very journalistic of me, but I Google translated it and I sent it to him in Russian because I really needed him to understand that. I said, Roman brother, I have a role for you, my brother. No, but that is good news. And so you get Roman in the bumper on the power play. You get a full year of Bedard, hopefully healthy. Hopefully some of these guys take steps. I said this on stream last night. I could really see, and this is why might be like a disappointing summer, is I could really see there being more action and there being a bigger window to bring in talent at the trade deadline next year in the middle of the season than there is this summer.
Yeah,
you know,
stronger market.
Well, I just mean once you get to the trade deadline, if the Blackhawks are still in it, if all these guys take a jump, and we're at least around a playoff bubble, we're not selling. If there are teams that are trying to sell at the deadline, we've got more assets than anyone to bring in. Look, whoever got traded in the middle of the season this year, it was all for picks, it was all for prospects. And so I feel like teams in the summer are less looking for that stuff and more looking for it later in the year before the March deadline.
Yeah, you're more.
I see your
point.
Too. Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I think what David said, I think a part of it might be just wanting to see exactly what he has of these young guys. Some of these guys, I don't think we've seen quite enough, right? Yeah, I hate to keep playing the hypothetical game, but it's the way Bedard was cooking at the start of the year, fully healthy, this team was in that kind of playoff conversation. We didn't even think for half of last year that we'd even be in a position to be drafting the top four. So that's one thing if you want to cope. The silver lining is I don't think where we're picking this draft really is going to drastically alter the course of this rebuild. Obviously, it impacts it, but we're not cooked because we're picking four. But yeah, I think you want to see what. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, I was going to say we're getting a great player.
Exactly.
It doesn't necessarily push what we need right now, and it doesn't address kind of that glaring need for somebody next to Connor Bedard. But it's still getting a good player that can really contribute towards the future of this or prove to be valuable draft capital to bring somebody in. I don't think that as much. I feel like it's going to be, you boys feel the same too, that they're probably just going to make the pick.
Yeah. But yeah, David said, knowing David how much he likes his draft picks, you have a hard time seeing him move on from it. I'm sure he'll at least consider his options. We hear a lot about from Davidson. I'm sure he'll inquire about certain, about moving up or moving down and consider his options of certain players. But as I was saying, I think he wants to see I probably want to see if Frank Nazar can take a step next for because he was playing really well before he got injured, right? He wants to see what a full season of Lardis can do, what a full season of Frundell can do, the impact that Kanchuk can have this team. So I just think there's a lot of young guys. Oliver Moore, he got hurt, right? So I think there's just a lot of young guys. He wants to see what kind of strides they could take next year, and that'll probably have a better idea of what he needs to do to fill in the gaps. Yeah.
I think we're going to consider everything. We're going to look to move up. We're going to look to move
That's
down.
Politics. That's GM politics.
You in this job, you got to be open to everything, right? But the reality is that stuff. I saw someone on Twitter today say that he's soft launching, doing nothing.
Probably. No,
so we've heard it's a lot of the same quotes.
I
feel like we've seen the same quotes from Davidson after every single draft hour. I think he's just copy pasted every single statement. It's the same thing.
Yeah, he's just in flow state looking at fucking
all right
shot defenseman highlights.
I was low on I'm low on Malhotra. I'll admit I'm low on Malhotra. But do you guys want me to the positive spin Malhotra for you guys? Do you guys
Go
want me
ahead.
to tell you on Malhotra?
Because you can move Frundell to Bedard's wing if he's the 2C.
And Frank Nazar. You can put Frank Nazar on the second line wing. You can put Frundell on the wing with Connor Bedard. Connor Bedard gets his wing. You have Nazar on a line with Malhotra, and then Oliver Moore's your 3C. That's the positive spin.
Sounds all right to me, man. You know what?
The only reason why it doesn't sound super all right to me is because I don't know if Caleb Malhotra has the offense. Like, I don't know if that's truly a top. He might play as a second line center because of like the matchup ability, but I don't know if he's going to be playing second line center because it's like, oh, this guy's just like a really good center and like is an
closer to a
producer.
third line center than he is a first line center.
Not a top 6 producer. Yeah.
Exactly. But I like his game more than say like Sasha Boisvert. You know, like I think he's got more potential than Sasha Boisvert just because his game is more well-rounded. He's much better defensively. You know, I think his skating is not good yet, and I don't think the offensive tools are very impressive. Like I'm just like I don't.
It's hard to gauge. I find it personally hard to gauge with the with how loaded the Brantford team was. Like how much like.
Jacob O'Brien, that team too.
And also, I feel like with this whole NCAA thing, like the whole CHL players being allowed to go to the NCAA, I find it much harder to gauge the level of competition in the CHL and like the OHL. Like there is no 100 point producers in this OHL this year.
Yeah,
and like Misa had 200 fucking points last year.
Well, sure, like 84, right?
Yeah. So it's like But like that doesn't mean that like players aren't going to come from the OHL because you're still going to have studs coming from these leagues because of it's inevitable. But like it's like I do not envy the scouts who actually have to like make the decision on this because I am personally finding it like it's harder to gauge. The competition has dropped, and what the fuck does that mean?
Mm-hmm. For me, like I prefer Malhotra over picking another defenseman. Maybe Chase Reed has something to say about that, but I prefer Malhotra over any of Veerhoff, Schmitz, Carrolls, Rudolph, any other defenseman. If he's available at 4, like I'm happy if I'm at 4. Yeah, over a defenseman.
I think, Justin, to back that up, I think if you want to improve your blue line, it has to be done through trade or free agency.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you can be sitting here, not even just like waiting for another young D.
That'd be an 8th one at the age of 24. Yeah.
Yeah. But, and that's the point is it's like not even just about the patience. It's just like we saw this year that like, if you're trying to bring up too many guys at one time, it's not going to work. You know, it's, there's going to be holes there. And so, yeah, like, for me, it's got to be a forward here with this pick. And then if not, try to get creative with it. If you want to talk trades as established players, I was talking to OV, Justin, before you got on here. You know, everybody's thinking Thomas or Jason Robertson and Brady Tkachuk. I don't think either of those guys are going to be.
That they're pipe dreams.
I think Ottawa. And like, even if Ottawa did want to move Brady Tkachuk, would Ottawa want young futures, or would they want like someone or 2 players that are going to maybe make them better next year? Whereas I think a trade that I saw it on Twitter yesterday from a Dallas fan was maybe a Thomas Harley, maybe you go trade. They need the money for Jason Robertson. He's on a $10.6 million contract. He plays the left side of the fence. He's a true, he really is like a true number 1, but he doesn't play true number 1 minutes because Miro Heiskanen.
Yeah,
they have Bichelle on the left side. They have Esa Lindell on the left side, and they have Miro Heiskanen on the left side. They've already got 3 defensemen on the left side. You know, maybe they want to replenish, and then after Tyler Sagan's contract is up in 2027, they can go back and add another, you know, either shore up their depth or add another star player. I just feel like he's a little repetitive on that team in a sense. And then all of a sudden, if your left side is looking like Thomas Harley 1, Alex Vlasic 2, Wyatt Kaiser 3, you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, that contract, you know, goes till 2034, and a bit of a down year this year, but the previous 2 seasons is absolutely on fire. I remember like in the 4 Nations for Canada, he stepped in, looked fantastic, and that playoff run especially, it was very good. Maybe his value would be a tad bit lower after this year, probably not too much more, but I wonder what that package would look like. 24 years old, so not even in his prime yet. So I wonder what that deal would look like. But yeah, that is a target that would be nice back there too. I like how his age too. That's crazy. He's actually same draft as Alex Vlasic. I thought he was like way older, but he's not. But like a defenseman kind of entering his prime like that, be kind of exactly what we could use in that.
I really like him. I really like that idea.
The right side too. It takes some pressure off of guys like Renzel and Artie and Vlasic, because I think we like Alex Vlasic. I don't think he's a top pair left side.
No, he's a two. He's a two.
He's a second pair. So that would take some pressure off of him, and he can't get back to his A game. Because I like Vlasic, but I do think he took maybe a slight step back this year. But I think if he's back on second pair playing, lesser minutes, more shelter competition, I think he'd get back to where he was too. So yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, but what would they want?
Yeah, that's the question. Then.
And so it was like a Dallas person that tweeted it out. They kind of wanted like futures, whether it was prospects or draft capital.
Really?
Well, we got all that. And so even if it takes, dude, can I be honest? Like if it took a Renzel plus a first and, maybe something else, I'm doing that. Like I already think Kevin Korchinski and Sam Renzel is
one of those got to go.
Yeah. It's just two of the same. And so, I would do that in a heartbeat. All of a sudden your defense is going to be that. If you got Thomas Harley this summer, your defense is amazing next year because it's like Crevier and Kaiser are both going to be better. They were already looking like NHL D this year. Mm-hmm. You got Vlasic. Then it's like, Artie, take your time, Artie. You can continue to struggle. It's fine. We've got several other dogs that can eat all the important defensive minutes for you.
Yeah, play third pair. It doesn't have to be in the top four playing 20 plus minutes. Play third pair, against lesser competition. Yeah, ease into it. Yeah, and that's the door with the special teams too. Because like quarterback in the power play this year was rough. Like he clearly just wasn't ready for that slot. Watch him try to break in, and the drop passes was killing me this year. So if we could have somebody else do that, that'd be great for next year for the power play. If we're gonna have a defensive back there, it's not all for power play. Yeah.
And then I also saw a Leafs thing on Twitter that was like considering moving back from 1 to 4, trading with the Blackhawks for pick number 4 and Kevin Korchinski.
Okay, then that is like... who the hell is saying that? There's no way the Leafs are giving up on the first overall pick. No one is giving up Gavin McKenna. Are we serious right now?
Well, and so I guess my response to that is like a two-parter. Is like, what? Like, is that really the general manager's first move? Yeah.
But Chayka, they already hate that move. They already hate the Chayka hire. If he trade the first overall pick, I don't think he'd be safe in that city. Yeah.
I was listening to Morning Cup of Hockey this morning with Colby Cohen and Johnny Lazarus, and Colby Cohen said that he thinks that if Chicago picked first overall, they wouldn't have taken McKenna. It's not that his word is God, but he is Kyle Davidson's buddy. And so I was like, interesting. So I don't know if
McKenna's not necessarily like he should be. He should be, but boys, we talked about it earlier. You don't build your team off the wall. You don't build your team off the fucking wall.
You don't build your team off the wall.
He's another winger. Yeah, he's another winger.
He's an undersized 5'11" winger, man, and you've got a 6'2" centerman and a 6'2" right-hand shot defenseman.
We don't think the Leafs would. We're not suggesting what we're suggesting here, are we?
No, I don't think it's.
Maybe the Sharks. I don't think
it shouldn't be a possibility, but I wouldn't be surprised if that narrative creeps in somewhere in this.
Their D is old and slow, boys. They need help on the blue line. They don't have a number one. They don't have any speed. They're old as shit. They can't break the puck out. What good is Gavin McKenna and Austin Matthews when you?
That's just another Mitch Martin situation there. Yeah,
Gavin McKenna isn't helping you. Hold the puck in the offensive zone more. He's not. He might help your transition game, but is he going to help you break the puck out?
And you've had elite forwards. Like their defense has just been regressing.
Maybe you trade. Maybe you trade that pick for number 4 and Sam Renzel or Kevin Korchinski, and then you draft Carols or Reed. Then all of a sudden, just like that, your D-core changes overnight.
This all sounds great, but yeah, I think we're on shrooms right now. I think we're on edibles. I was off Twitter yesterday. It was so funny.
Is there a gas leak?
They went through all 5 stages of grief, right? Because everyone was pissed off at first, but then I started seeing all this copium of like, well, actually there is a path. Stanford McKenna could drop at 4. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? We can't do this every single year, man.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. Like we're going to pick one of our defensive holders Malhotra, we're gonna like it.
Justin,
more
with that
likely.
being said, we still need propaganda Blackhawks fans on overdrive.
I'll try. Yeah.
I was doing my job last night. I was replying to tweets. I was replying to Vancouver Canucks Twitter saying, I think Malhotra is incredible.
1C potential.
We should put out some videos just glazing that guy for the next 7 weeks.
Yeah,
and
I'll
I'll be posting at Biok Beams how much I love Caleb Malhotra. Yeah.
Now that I think about it, that tape looked a lot better. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think
Skating looked great.
That's the next Alexander Barkov right there, I think, boys.
Dude, I had people this week. I tweeted that I tweeted a couple days ago that I didn't think he was going to be a very effective offensive producer at the NHL level, and that I saw him being a third line matchup center because he has good defensive positioning and bad skating. And I had people dropping names like Leon Draisaitl and Nick Suzuki. And I'm like, what are
we're not comparing him to those guys, are we?
I swear to God, they were like, did you see Draisaitl in his draft year? He couldn't skate very well. Leon Draisaitl.
Nick Suzuki is not as bad of a, just because, you know, he took a little bit of time to get there, and he was like mid first round kind of like it's not a horrible comparison, but in terms of will he ever be what Nick Suzuki is now? Like if you're comparing Nick Suzuki in his draft year to Caleb Malhotra, like that's not bad. But will Caleb Malhotra become what Nick Suzuki is now?
100 points, Selkie first line.
Yeah,
center.
I don't see that.
No.
And certainly, Draisaitl should not even be in the conversation.
Leon Draisaitl is the best shot on the planet.
Yeah, and he's one of the best passers on the planet, and one of the most clutch players. Like it's unbelievable how good that guy is. So that's a bit ambitious to say the least.
Yeah, no, for sure. How about you guys, though? Like, I sincerely hope this is the last draft lottery that we have to care about and stress about. It's been, 4 or 5 years of this, and I can't take another one, man. You know, like, I'm not expecting necessarily this a playoff team next year, but please just let us be in the mix. Let us be in the race. Let us play meaningful games for the entirety of the season, like the Sharks did this past year. We can't be doing this again next year, man.
We need something to look forward to, man. And this year was just kind of oh, it's some shit hockey.
Teaser trailer. Yeah.
But there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and then it's well, nope.
And then we got blue ball.
Doesn't really matter if you were making the playoffs anyway. You might have been here anyway. And then the Islanders last year, they were in the mix for the playoffs and jumped up. I want entertaining hockey now. I want to be in the mix. I don't think we make the playoffs next year, and if we do, it's ahead of schedule and a last wild card spot. But we need to be playing some meaningful games. I don't want to be looking at Tankathon in February, boys.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. I yearn for playoff hockey, man. I yearn for it. I yearn for those guys back there.
Yeah.
Just to go back to the Nick Suzuki thing, he had 96 points in 65 games in his draft year, and he wasn't playing on basically an NHL team with
the
all
competition
the
guys. Probably was better.
Yeah. So I still don't think that is
no. He won't.
That's a crazy comment.
That's that's a cope, and it's an exception, not the rule. In terms of those type of players,
well, if we're picking him at 4, he is the next Nick Suzuki. I think we'll go on that road. Hopefully, he's that guy. If he gets
Vancouver would be crazy. Vancouver. You don't want the next Nick Suzuki. He'd be perfect.
Can we also do a grass is always greener draft year talk really quick? Because I just heard Stephen Ellis on a show say that this year isn't that deep or that good of a draft. And I remember last year, Justin, he came on our show.
Yeah, was he saying it was one of the best draft class since the Bedard class or something? Was he not saying
this happens every year? Every year, the next draft is going to be really good, and then once you
until it isn't.
Year,
yeah. But to be fair, everyone's saying last year's draft was shit, and then a year later, it's looking like an absolutely loaded draft class.
Yeah,
so
I will never buy into that again, man.
Yeah. All these guys are going to be, all these guys are going to be stars, or it's going to be miss, hit, miss, just we hear it every single year. And also something that we hear every single year is there's going to be action on draft day.
Oh God, not again,
look
dude.
There's
going to be so many trades last year. There was literally nothing. Literally absolutely nothing.
You're going to have in the last minute, Cam Robinson's going to be coming in and being look,
he's still
San Jose's
Lindell
looking
might
at
go
Caleb
too.
Malhotra. San Jose's looking at Caleb Malhotra. I'm by the pool and I see Caleb Malhotra. He's wearing a San Jose Sharks hat.
Yes.
And I'm
Toronto's
going to
thinking
get my
Chase
hopes
Reed.
up and
Dude,
tweet about it. And then people are going to be coming at my throat. And anyway,
that DM group chat that I think we're all in on Twitter, I was like, I feel like some of these guys, and I was like, I feel like Cam Robinson like hypes shit up, like it's getting like crazy stuff.
They eat
gonna
up
happen in
every
the
year,
draft.
man.
And they were like, does he? And I went and I found this video that I think you were just referencing where he's walking outside.
Sharks going to take Frondell.
I'm hearing things, boys. It's buzzing. And then suckers like me buy it up. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Michael Nisa. I'm subtweeting like we're good, boys.
Nisa the Hawks.
And then what happens?
I
Misa
mean,
goes
you gotta
that's
tip
aged
your
pretty
cap.
well, to be fair. I think
You gotta tip your cap though. Like this guy just like posted up in a hot tub. Like there's gonna be movement, gets all these extra people on elite prospects, and then
he's getting all that movement, buddy. He's getting my fucking Twitter interactions.
What a beast! Shout out Cam Robinson.
I do
That's
like
so
Cam
funny.
Robinson. That's not a shot at him.
too.
That's just
No, it's just true.
It's business.
and it was like I did get my hopes up there. I was like, whoa. And it was
I
like,
don't think I was a bit
Frondell
sus.
going too, you know?
Yeah.
Wasn't quite feeling it.
No.
Silver lining, I think that's going to work out fine for us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is too funny.
And I wonder what the move I feel like there's got to be at least one move, right? We don't go moveless this summer, do we? We don't go moveless.
No,
do we?
surely we get a little bit of motion. But
okay.
But
there's motion in your front door.
But is that just like a third pairing veteran defenseman that
not again then. Not another Matt Kruzek, not another Alec Martinez, TJ Brody. No more of this nonsense. What are these other defensemen? Nikita Zaitsev, Jared Tenorti, Jacob Megna. I'll go down the list. Like, not another year at this, man. Anyone we're bringing in has to be a significant
Sam Lafferty.
No more mid. No more mid. Like, it's
defense.
gotta be a player, dude. A player.
It's gonna be fucking who's the big fucker playing 4C on Minnesota right now? Bet like all these Blackhawks people, McCarron. I'm watching all these Blackhawks people lick their lips over fucking McCarron.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it looks great next to Foligno.
yeah. It's like, buddy, I think I would look pretty good as a 4C with fucking Quinn Hughes and Brock Faber behind me.
These boys are too soft.
Yeah, he's not gonna be
no physicality on this team.
Yeah.
This team will get smoked in the 80s.
McCarron comes in and plays 2C.
That's it. This team would get smoked in the 80s. Yeah, no shit. Like, oh my god.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
That is so funny, man. Yeah. I do think I will say a lot of the doom for me yesterday was just tied back to that pick in 2024.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's when you really look at the root of it, it's just like Levchinov. It's like you just were not happy with the Levchinov pick, and that was our chance to redeem it, and it didn't unfortunately go that way. So.
And that's why you always draft off of best player available, because I think we all had a feeling back then that that's going to come back to bite us, and unfortunately, it looks like it is. So I hope Artie can, I think we got to be patient with it. I'm sure we said it then, right? I think he's going to be, if good development, he could be a very solid defense in the NHL. But like, he's never going to be as good as Evan Demidov. But different.
Yeah, that's really it. I do still think he's like he's on your second pair when we're competing, and he's going to be like a physical specimen, and like you might have to pair him with a guy who's got a really big brain to kind of mitigate some of the mistakes. But.
I
think I prefer the top line winger from Bedard. Thank you very much.
Well, no,
I take Nikita Kucherov.
Boys, the thing about that is like when I say shit like that on my streams, people will rebut and be like, he's 20 years old. And I'm like, do you guys think we just saw peak Ivan Demidov this year? Like, do you guys think that Ivan
he's
Demidov's
going to be so much better.
Way better.
Yes, Artie's going to get better. So is him.
Everybody, man. So is Beckett.
They're both 20 years old.
Yeah. Everybody besides Caden Lidstrom. So,
what the hell happened with him? Yeah, no.
It could always be worse. You could be the Columbus Blue Jackets. I had somebody in my stream ask 4th overall pick for Kirill Marchenko. 25-year-old, first line winger. If something's gone,
You think about it. You consider it. Yeah, I'd have to think more about that one.
Yeah, someone said, and then someone in my chat, I wish I remembered who it was, but they were like first line, Marchenko, Kanserov, and Badarov.
Okay, now you got me
Bedard-
thinking. The
Bedardski.
Russian connection.
Bedardov and
Get the absolute vodka out there in the post games.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be something there.
I don't know.
Could be something there.
That's
Blasted
another name.
Russian hard base in the locker room. Yeah.
That's another name, but it's like, is Columbus looking like, is that what Columbus wants to do now? Like, there's
and he's like
questions.
one of their best players.
One of the only really, core 4 players they got. So
I do think that maybe Dmitry Voronkov is like a more realistic potential trade guy for the Blackhawks, because I think they re-signed Bones, and I saw a lot of Columbus Blue Jackets people talk about how Voronkov was terrible under Bonus, and so maybe that's that's some size, that's some goal scoring ability.
Bonus's end of season rant was legendary. We need that passion.
Nova Scotia legend, buddy. Nova Scotia legend.
Yeah.
What about Kent Johnson from Ohio?
For me, Kent Johnson is more of what we have.
Yeah,
he's Instagram hockey. He's Instagram hockey. Yeah.
That's valid.
Is it going to be a Frank Nazar, Kent Johnson, Oliver
Michigan
Moore
connection?
line,
Yeah. He's skilled, but like we have a lot of Kent Johnsons.
We have speed and skill, and then we're waiting.
That's
on
not solving anything
that we drafted in 2025. Like we are. Everyone talks about how small this team is. It's like we are waiting.
We have guys. We have dogs in the arsenal. Yeah.
It's like Frundell, Nestrasil, Bame, and maybe West. But I think Bame is going to be an NHL player before Mason West is.
I would.
West a project. Yeah.
I don't know.
I like Nestrasil a lot. I like the thought of him, towards the end of next season, because I think he had a better college year than we expected. It's like he could feature the Blackhawks towards the end of the year next year. So, add a power forward like that in the top 6, and that would solve a lot of problems. So, I'm definitely excited.
Just don't transfer to BU, please.
No, just stay put, stand pat. We don't want to see your stock go, like that, like Bob
Coach Carve and UMass. Just love what he's gotten out of him. Stay there. Yeah. Play another year and then join and that's another thing is like, gosh, boys, if we're gearing up to the trade deadline next year and that and he is well over a point per game in dominating the NCAA, and then it's like we've got all this draft capital to go out and make a move at a deadline, and then you've got Nestrasil joining the team. It's like, ooh,
where do you fit him in here exactly? Yeah.
I love Nestrasil, man. I think he's ahead of schedule. I think he's a little bit better than I thought he was going to be. And man, if you could add, he's kind of a Swiss Army knife, man. I can kind of see him being anywhere in the lineup once he's like developed and ready to be in the league. Exciting, and we desperately need that size, man.
It's like 6'5", 200 plus pounds. Yeah, does a little bit of everything.
Like very smart and skilled with that size too.
Yes,
World Juniors, he was outstanding.
Hands. Yeah. I think he's a perfect complementary top 6 winger. It's like he does all the dirty work, and he has the skill to play with elite players.
If there's any
front, that'll be great. Yeah.
If there's any prospect, I could just like flip a switch and have him accelerated to his like prime ready. I need you now. Give it Nestrasil. Give me Nestrasil.
That's what we're missing. That's what everyone's been complaining about, right? Everyone's complaining about. There's no top 6 dog up there amongst power forwards. So
and he's smart, man. That's the big thing for me, and like why I like Robertson a lot is I want smart guys on Bedard's line who can their brains can keep up with Bedard's play.
Yeah, not Andre Burakovsky. Yeah.
Fuck no, man. Buy him out. So serious. He is getting. Every time I go on Puckpedia, I just buy him out right away. It's just do it. There's no reason not.
We have $40 million plus of salary cap. I think we could spare a couple mil.
Yeah, exactly. Unless Blashill. Yeah.
Blashill, yeah, no, that's the thing. That's why you have to buy him out for Davidson, because Blashill is like in love with the guy. So
yeah, that's the thing. If he's still around next year, if you
Where do you
think
think
he's
he's
not in the lineup on night one, you're out of your fucking mind because Blashill loves him, dude.
Yeah.
I just like we all yearn for someone to love us the way Jeff Blashill loved Andre.
Yeah, Stenberg will be up in the
That'd be
press
nice, man.
box, like watching. We gotta make him watch the vet presence to see how it's done. Gotta learn how to play
Study
off
the
the
tape.
puck first. It's
Yeah.
not what he
Look
does
at
when it's in the
Michael
ozone. It's what he does when he's off the puck.
Oh my gosh.
He's great in the locker room. Great locker room guy here. Good sense of humor in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is Ilya Mikheyev gonna get extended? I've changed
I
my
like
tune on that.
Mikheyev, but it's like, so you were against it, but now you're for it. is what
I
you're
think
saying.
so, bro. I think
Yeah,
so.
I think
Were
he's
you about
too
to say the
effective.
opposite?
Well, I was, but because I was gonna say where exactly is like the space for him. I think there's space for him right now, but eventually I think it's gonna become tougher. But I think just he's proven to be too viable for the penalty kill. Yes, it could still find a way to be effective without all the the long sticks we got back there. I think we just have a really good PK system. It could still be good, but
Yeah.
I mean this PK was damn near best in the league for an entire year. And I think if you lose Mikheyev, like it's gonna hurt that. So yeah, you have young guys who can slide into that, but if you could do it short term, like literally like 2 years, $5 million, whatever, like I'd do it. Just don't bind yourself to this guy if you're going to bring him back. Plus two, it's like you get rid of him. It's like, well, you just lost him for nothing. You could have got something at the deadline.
Yeah.
But I think he's effective enough piece where I'm happy to keep him around for a couple more years.
I wonder with that if they'll be able to get it done. That if like I could see the Hawks wanting short term.
And
We'll give you two, and he wants security.
Yeah. In that case,
I could see
I want
him
another
ending up,
4-year
like,
Donato situation. I want that again.
He screams Tampa Bay to me. I don't know what it is, but he screams.
Who, Donato or
Mikheyev going over and being a third line dog in Tampa.
Well, can I be like the reason why I've changed my tune is my reason for not re-signing him was kind of what Justin just described, and it's like, well, you've got Bertuzzi here, you still got Burakovsky, you still got Teravainen, you still got Donato.
I think it's gonna be a quieter summer than you expect.
My thing is like where I've changed my tune is like fuck those guys. Like what? Oh, sorry, we can't extend a good player because we've got Donato and Teravainen. It's like
trade Teravainen.
We don't need Teravainen. We do
trade
Teravainen.
Is more effective than those guys. Give them a 3-4 year deal and trade those guys for nothing for future consideration.
They both progressed this year. We don't need them. Yeah, Teravainen's too nonchalant for this team. I think the way he played this past year, like I think last year for the Blackhawks, not as bad as Burakovsky, it's still pretty bad.
I've had people telling me that like you can't play Teravainen on your fourth line and stuff like that. It's like he's not my top 6. Where the fuck do you think they're gonna play him?
Yeah, no, I think I would, if anybody wanted to take a flyer on him, I would be like, yep, go ahead.
Yeah. Like thanks for the 2015 Cup, but that's it. Yeah.
I need some dogs in the room, and Tavo he might be a good guy, but he's not a dog.
Too chill. He's too chill.
And it seems like it's too relaxing. Like it looks like they have too much fun.
The sense of urgency just isn't quite there. Sometimes it feels like.
Yeah.
I think we gotta wrap that up now. Yeah.
Teravainen would be a good guy to go into a room that's like too tense, like a contender. This is a perfect bottom 6 player for you, chill guy, gonna do his job. That's not what we need out of our veterans.
We need a
and he's not really a leader, he's not really gonna bring these kids along.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Like I like the guy a lot. I always love him for the 2015 Cup, but it feels like every time the Blackhawks like bring back like an old player, they're never quite the same as they were.
It doesn't ever really work.
It's never. Yeah, exactly. I can't think of an example. I'm sure there's been a couple, but not in recent memory. Yeah.
I agree. Well, all right, boys. Is there we're coming up here on an hour. Is there anything else you guys needed to get off your chest?
I mean, I'm sure I'll have plenty of things to say after the recording button's done. I'll probably remember, but I think we'll have plenty of time. We got 7 weeks to kind of lead up to this draft here, breakdown. I guess maybe the playoffs right now going on, and I mean it's crazy. Avalanche and Canes haven't lost a game so far. It definitely feels like it's going to be Avs versus Canes. I have Avs versus Canes in the final, and those two teams are just rolling through everybody. So, but no, playoffs have been fun to watch. I've enjoyed that. So yeah, that's been fun to watch. What do you guys been thinking of the postseason so far?
Yeah, it's been entertaining. I'm with you. It's like the Avs are so damn good. I think Minnesota will be able to make this series a series. I think they'll get at least one at home. But the Avs, I just feel like, are too good down the middle and just too good everywhere, man. Like we got
there's really no
deceived.
weaknesses.
We
Yeah.
got deceived by that Avs King series, even though they swept them. All those games were close, and it was just because LA was parking the bus. And it's like Minnesota's actually trying to play with these guys, and they're just better.
Yeah,
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
looking like Colorado's going to take a walk to the final, I feel like, man. And then I thought Carolina, I still think they're in a good position to go, but I could see there's going to be so much hype around Buffalo, Montreal, whichever team comes out
Eastern
of
Conference
that.
Final Blues.
Like they are going to be, both of those fan bases are going to be electric in the Eastern Conference Final. And I absolutely see one of those teams beating Carolina to go to the finals and then getting pump fucked by fucking Colorado for everything that they're worth. But no ifs, ands, or buts about it, I feel like. But
I think Buffalo has a better chance of beating them than Montreal does.
yeah.
I think their penalty kill Carolina's penalty kill is really good. Their man-to-man on the forecheck, you basically need guys that can win one-on-ones against their defender, and I think Buffalo's got more of them than Montreal. Like
I don't know. Montreal won a game putting damn near 9 shots in it. That was unreal.
They might just have the ghost of like.
It feels like they got the vibes on their side. I don't know. There's just something with that team that just scares me. Even when they don't play well, they still.
Or John Cooper made a deal with the
bro,
devil, and his time is coming to an end.
Bro, it's like Montreal won that series by the skin of their chin. Tampa Bay is one of the best shot suppression teams, but Carolina is the shot suppression team. You know, and so it's like, are they going to win 2 series? I wouldn't bet on that. Buffalo maybe, but I think it's going to be Carolina.
To be honest, either way, it feels like it's too easy a path. I mean, historically, the Eastern Conference Finals have been a struggle for Carolina. But if there's one year where that shouldn't be an issue, there's really no excuse.
There's no wagons.
Those two teams don't have playoff experience.
No Florida.
Right?
No Florida.
Especially without Tampa being out, too. That'd probably be the one team that probably could give them a fight, and they're out. So, but yeah, I think that the fact they had such an easy path, though, like, going up against Colorado, that's probably going to be, I mean, it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, right? We'll see.
I do think that Colorado matches up against them extremely well. Like you have to change your game against Colorado. You can't have Jalen Chatfield trying to like slow down Nathan McKinnon at the offensive blue line. Like that ain't gonna work. So
I want to see the Hawks President's Trophy thing continue. 2013 Hawks behind me, the last President's Trophy team to win the cup. But yeah, it does feel like this year it might be coming to an end. But we'll see. Yeah.
We'll see, man. There's still a lot of hockey to be played. We haven't even seen what this Montreal series even looks like yet. So
it's going to be a banger.
Lots of hockey to be played left, boys.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, we hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, subscribe to our channels, like the video, hype up this video. It helps us out. It sends it out to more people. We're growing this thing. We're going to be back next year. We're going to be doing this thing during the summer. We're going to be doing this thing up to the trade deadline, the draft as well. So make sure you're following these guys as well on their respective social media platforms. And we will see you guys next time on another episode of the program. Peace out.
Absolute cinema.